Welcome back to the Asylum.
I'm Kane.
And I'm Deshaun.
And we are the Arkham inmates. And boy, oh boy, we just got out of the premiere for Marvel's Thunderbolts. And just to get right into the fucking rating, I loved it. I thought it was fucking awesome. I gave it a 9.5.
That shit was mid.
Nah, bro.
That shit
Shut
was
up.
trash,
Don't even.
dude.
That shit was awesome.
That was a fucking horrible movie.
I fucking
You call that a
loved it.
movie, dude?
I thought it was great. I love all of the characters, the cast. Everybody was on fucking point.
I gave it an 8.5. I was thinking about it in the car. I was on an 8, but I want to go 8.5.
Yeah, I think it's up to 9.5. I think it's really good. To talk about Eric Voss's tweet and the guy that's new Rockstar, shout out to him, but he said it was the best movie since Avengers Endgame. I disagree. I think it's up there. It's definitely one of the better movies since Endgame. Mm-hmm. We've gotten a lot of stinkers, but I don't think it's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I don't think it's up there with No Way Home. I don't think it's up there with Deadpool and Wolverine. Even though I will say that this story is way more solid and well-written more than those movies. Mm-hmm. No Way Home is not a well-written movie. It's just kind of like, let's get through the movie and just over nostalgia you. And Deadpool and Wolverine isn't well written either. It's very just, you know what kind of movie it is. This is a very solid, it kind of reminds me of the early 2000s, you know, like when we got Iron Man, when we got Hulk, when we got Thor. It is a very like, we have this conflict, we have this team together, no one wants to work together. The comedy lands a lot in this fucking film.
Yeah, it does.
This was a very funny, awesome film. It really felt like old Marvel. Mm-hmm. I will say that. I definitely got the old Marvel feel. So, if we're talking about, like, the original, like, it's not gonna fucking blow you away with anything crazy. It's not gonna bring anybody in that's like, oh my god, there's no crazy cameos. It is just a solid superhero film. And I fucking loved it. Yeah. I fucking thought it was awesome. I really loved it. It was such a fun... I had so much fun watching it, you know? I feel like there's not a lot of Marvel movies recently that we've been like, wow, that was fun. Like, even Captain America Brave New World, like, at some point you're like, all right, let's get to the point here. There's just so much dialogue in that and so much, like, there was a lot of boring, stale moments in that. There was nothing boring about this.
I enjoyed it very, very much. 8.5 is where I think I'm going to stay. I don't think, it's, like, there's nothing, like, there are some things I wish they did more, but I don't, like, I'm not saying, like, it's bad where I can't give it a 10. It's just,
what did you wish they did more?
I wanted to see a bit more of the mental health of everyone, not just
every single character,
not just Yelena and Bob.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I wanted to see a little bit more out of John, because John is a crazy story to me a bit. Mm-hmm. Seeing him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and seeing his story, his character arc, and everything. And then it's mentioned to us, something's up with him and his family. His wife got divorced. Him and his wife got divorced. She left him and his kid and took the kid. We don't know much about Ghost besides what we saw in Ant-Man 2, and I really would have enjoyed seeing her
some type of quarrels with those. Yeah.
Well, because she was raised in S.H.I.E.L.D. They fucking trained her to be an assassin. Yeah. I would have loved to see her version of, like, a Red Room, but a S.H.I.E.L.D. version. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that was a wasted opportunity. And I would have liked to have seen Bucky take the lead more on mental health, because he's been through everything that everyone's going through. They're new to it. He's not. Yeah. He's been through the cycles. He knows how to... He
talked about it a good bit with, like, when they had him captured, he was like, I've been where you guys are at.
That's all he really said about it. And I would have wanted him to be more of, like, a guide and, like, hey, this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. I kind of get what you're going through on this.
Right.
Like, I would have wanted a little bit more of that, rather than just, like, a one statement of, like, hey, I've been where you guys are at, so let's just do this, because it's better than doing nothing. And then they'll leave it at that. But, like I said, it's not a bad movie. I just would have wanted a bit more than...
No, it was awesome. Fucking, I mean, the... Bob is in this movie, Robert, or Sentry, or Sentry/Void. Yeah. Fucking awesome, dude. Awesome. It has been a while, and I will say this. it has been a while since we have had a scary villain. An actual scary one, like, and I'm not talking like someone that's powerful, like Deadpool and Wolverine. Cassandra Nova's powerful, but she's not scary. She's just kind of quirky and kind of like, I'm doing my own thing. Then you have like the girl from the Marvels that was like a Ronin fucking ripoff that wasn't scary at all. Then you have what's the other one that just came out before this? Captain America: Brave New World. I mean, the leader was kind of bland, and he wasn't really threatening. And then Hulk is just Hulk, but he wasn't like. It wasn't scary. Like, it was like oh shit, like they're powerful.
When
but
we were watching the movie, I looked over to Ken. I was like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, what actually can they do?
Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if, for the lack of a better words, it feels like another Thanos.
Yeah.
It feels like a fucking boss.
Like, the whole city's going dark, and there's nothing you can... Like,
and what I like about this, before we get into a lot of spoilers, the way that they end this movie, the way that they beat the villain, they don't really beat the villain.
Yeah.
Like, it's not in a way of, like, we won the day. It was more in a sense, which we'll get to it when we get all into our spoilers.
Save him from himself.
But from this point on, will be spoilers. We will be going through the whole movie as we see it. But if you have not seen it yet, this video is going to be coming out this Monday, so it's already opening weekend. Will be past. If you have not seen it yet, then you need to click off this video, go watch it. I fucking love this movie. Go watch it. It is such a fun watch in the theaters. You will love it. And from this point on, spoiler warning, we will be going through the entire movie and everything and spoiling the shit out of this movie, including the end credit scenes. So, if you're ready for that, stay tuned.
Alexei, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
Alright, so you have been warned. We are now getting into the movie full breakdown. We've already did our little review. We had our short out. We are going into the full movie breakdown of everything we thought, not scene by scene, but going through what we remember, all of that shit. So spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. If you have not seen this,
alright, bitch, I get it.
Your fault. Starting the movie off, we basically start off, this movie is basically, it is the Thunderbolts, but it's mainly Yelena. This whole movie is Yelena. So we start off with Yelena infiltrating like a scientist lab where they kept Sentry, but we don't know that yet. She goes through. She's basically telling her sob story. This movie is a big metaphor for mental illness, being alone and dealing with being alone, and your mental health. So she's kind of like talking to this dude that's wrapped in duct tape, like, "Oh, I feel so alone. My sister's gone. My dad's not talking to me. Like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. Like, I'm just kind of, she's kind of coasting through life.
Just going through the motions.
Yeah, working with, as Valentina's, like, shadow op, is what they said. Choreography in this is awesome. Yeah. It was really good. But they're tussling for a gun. He fucking blows his face off. And she's like, damn, I needed that face, which was pretty funny. Like, the humor in this is good. So, we fast forward a little bit.
Blows up the lab. She's like, Valentina, I'm good. And then she goes to meet with her dad, which... her dad... The Guardian. Which her dad... The Red Guardian, this David Harbour, fucking hilarious. His character is so well done. So she goes to him for, like, advice on, like... his
he's, like, sitting in his underwear.
His day-to-day, like, going through the motions is similar to hers.
Yeah.
And then she tells him she's coming to the conclusion that she wants to quit Valentina. Yeah. And then he's all like... Give me her fucking card.
Yeah. Like, I need work. Yeah.
So then he
wants to work so bad.
He's telling her, like, this is basically better than just sitting at your home doing what I'm doing, which is doing nothing. Like, at least you're in on some action.
But he's also telling her, like, because she's like, when were you ever actually happy? Yeah. And he was like, saving people, being the hero. That's the highest calling, which it is. Like, that's what makes him. That's why. And then she calls Valentina, and she's like, hey, I want to be a hero. Yep. Like, put me in the limelight. I don't want to be shadow ops. Like, can you put me in a public figure? Like, I want to be like my sister.
Yep.
And so Valentina, we get to like kind of the court thing, which is where we see Bucky at. But this is like Congress, so she's being impeached.
Yeah, and there was peach juice there as well.
Feel good about yourself? And while she's in Congress, they're trying to impeach her. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm innocent. No. And the girl that plays Valentina, Jared God. She is so good at playing a cunt. Honestly, that's lack for a better word. She's just playing a bitch. This whole movie, you're like, she keeps getting, like, she's a fucking worm.
And the main Congress guy is Perry White in James Gunn's Superman movie.
Yeah.
He's also the one.
His dialogue's hilarious too.
We
got some juicy details.
Meghan Markle, the actress, whatever her name is, in Suits. Her character, it's her dad, Zane, Robert Zane.
He was really good. Everyone cast in this movie did their fucking A game. They were killing it.
And
Everyone
Bucky's a congressman.
Yeah, Bucky's a congressman, but he hates it.
Yeah,
He fucking
freshman
finds it
congressman.
boring as fuck. But then we fast forward. She's now in this mode of like, we got to get rid of everything. All this evidence of bad shit and human experimenting and all this stuff
And
that could
Val,
be impeached.
she tells Yelena, "You got one more job for me, and I'll put you in the limelight."
Yeah, yeah. So then we
she
end
pulls
up
to the one more job.
Yeah, yeah. So the one more job is this big vault that's underground, which is actually really cool the way
In
they
a
showed
mountain.
it. In a fucking mountain. It was really cool. And basically, it's this moment where Lena gets there following Ghost, and then she gets attacked by Walter.
Walker.
And she gets attacked by... I mean, Walker gets attacked by Taskmaster.
Yep.
And then...
Ghost is after Taskmaster.
Yeah. So we're
then-
all conjoined.
Yeah, it's kind of like the you know how in the Marvels they were like kind of going off of each other.
Yeah.
It felt just a little bit like the pace of it. It felt
Better.
like that was a little bit. Yeah, it was better. But
Yeah.
I meant just the pace of it.
But then they all realize, oh shit, we're here to kill each other.
Ghost, whatever fucking face, whatever her fucking name is, she
Ghost.
fucking kills Taskmaster.
Oh, Taskmaster immediately. Not even like I wouldn't even say 20 minutes into the film.
Dude,
like
headshot, dude.
literally. So Ghost is obviously
She's dead,
Is a
and
ghost.
then John and Ghost start running her pockets.
yeah. It's like, well, she's not gonna need it, and they definitely hit home. These guys are the bad guys. These guys do not give a fuck. They're the assholes.
And
then
John has the audacity to walk around
he is
still-
full obsessed that he's Captain America.
still preaching that he's Captain America. Like, dude, let it go. You're not, dude.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
They
They
held
roast him.
a fucking U.S. whatever fucking meeting and said they disbarred him. They said you get no military benefits.
Yeah.
You're fucked, and you're no longer Captain America.
Yeah.
And then he walks around. I'm Captain America.
He also has this audacity to think that he is the only agent that Valentina sent, and that
Yeah.
I got kids, and like yeah, Valentina, no, she's not after us.
Your
I'm after
fucking
you.
wife and kids left you, bitch.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was a good one. But so we then meet Bob. He wakes up from this chamber, which is what they were holding him in, and he's the sole survivor of the Sentry Project, which apparently they've tested a bunch of other people, and he's the only one that lived.
And he has no memory.
No memory. Yeah, he loses his memory a lot, and he kind of blinks in
And
and
you
out.
know what's funny about that? This was such a big mental health movie, and he can't remember shit. And the first trailer, the song they chose was "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies.
Right? Yeah.
Where is my
Oh,
mind?
copyright. Oh,
So-
let's take it. YouTube. So then we meet Bob, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it's the running joke of like, "Bob, Bob, 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 Bob." They said like Bob like 500 times. But you know what? It didn't get old. Like I feel like if they tried doing that shit in the Marvels or doing that shit, like it would get old, and it would be like, all right, this fucking joke's stale. It's not good. But the Bob joke actually landed. Then we get through. They basically realize that the room that they're in is an incinerator, and they're like, we gotta fucking break out. So they break out.
We gotta work together as
Yeah.
a team.
And they do have these fun little moments where they're like, Ghost goes through the wall,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh fuck, like they didn't realize like she's gonna leave
She's
you.
fucking leaving us.
Yeah, but they
and
get
then they
out.
do this crazy shit where they got to go up a fucking tunnel of shit.
Yeah.
And they go back to back. If you've seen The Emperor's New Groove, there's a scene where they do that, him and fucking Pacha, and they're
Yeah.
going up. And they have to do that as like a group of four.
But it's immensely high. If
And-
any of them drop, they're,
Oh,
dead.
they're dead.
Not even
And
super soldiers here. Like
he goes, I gotta fucking sneeze. And they're like, wait. They're like,
Yeah,
cucumber.
yeah, because he starts saying, he's like, once you confuse your mind, you won't sneeze. So he starts yelling cucumber.
And I
So
want
then
to
they
say before I forget, I told Kane, John said, let me see how high up it goes. He did a vertical. We've
Vertical
never
jump,
seen
yeah.
we've never seen a super soldier do a vertical like that. He went up fucking high, dude. I was like, what the that's
Yeah.
more than fucking
I don't think it was immensely high.
it
but
was
up
definitely
there.
more than peak human high.
Yeah.
Like he fucking
Yeah, and
launched
it took him a while to drop too.
So I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I think Steve, we haven't seen him do a vertical, but we've seen him jump many.
It's more like long jumps we've seen him do.
Yeah. But I really loved how before that though, when they explode the doors, right? And the doors incinerate. Yelena and Bob touch hands when they're knocked out, and then she enters the void world, which they did a great job of that. I really loved how they did that, which we'll get to that later. But they basically get up to the top of the shaft, and then they're like, okay, how are we gonna get out?
Phrasing. Pause.
It's the
dude.
shaft, the elevator
Whoa!
shaft.
He went like this
No,
and said it's
yeah,
the
all right,
shaft.
fucking get out of here.
That's crazy
Okay.
work, bro.
They get up, They get up there, and John's just like, all right.
I'll go through the shaft.
I'll go first. And they're like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
We're all going to drop. And he's like, no, trust me. Trust me. So he literally just says, all right, fuck it. He does it, and they all drop. Like, it's very realistic. I think that's one thing I really want to point out. This movie's very realistic. They did a great job of balancing superheroes with realistic. A lot of stuff that they think will work does not work in this.
Yep.
And it really plays upon the team. Like, they're like, oh, dude, nice fucking going.
And before we get a little further, we should mention Yelena's dad is a driver in this movie. And he hints to Yelena, he kind of goes, you know, I do things too. I drive very important people around all the time.
He's a limo driver.
He's a
kind
limo
of like
driver.
Logan was, yeah.
So then, after that, they escape almost, but then Val shows up with her, like, strike team.
Yeah.
And then they find out
They
that
get a
Century...
plan. They get out. They finally have a plan to get out. It's a really dope scene. Like, all of this is well shot. All of the fighting is dope. There's a lot of cool banter. But they finally get out. They get into this truck. They're all in disguise.
Well, no, we gotta...
And
They find out that Century survived. Like, it was a project. Like, because they were like, who's that guy? And then they go fake
So Valentine figures out that
he's finding
that he's Sentry, and that she.
And
so
then
they
they
say
get
non-lethal.
Then they get the truck.
Yeah, but they get in, they get out, they get the truck, and then they're leaving, and then they're like, they stop them, and they're like, hey, what is your ID?
Yeah.
And another hilarious joke comes up, and they're like, identify yourself, and John just goes,
No.
no.
As they're in the car. And
Yeah, so they're in the car and they're trying to escape, and this whole time Bob's like, I want to help, but he's like, he thinks he's just human. He feels weird, and he's like, I feel like I can help. I feel like, he feels super powered, but he doesn't know anything yet. And so he runs out with a machine gun. He starts blowing off just to get a fucking, like, a distraction. And they're all like, no, Bob, no. And it's like 40 fucking dudes, with guns just lay into him. Fucking, dude, you're gonna make every goddamn fucking thing. Let me talk!
I didn't do anything.
You literally went, stupid fucking face.
I was just
Your
listening.
stupid face that you do where you're like, oh, he said a weird thing that might be gay.
No, I didn't do that.
Shut up.
I was just
Shut your
sitting here.
bitch ass up. And he dies and so they drive off thinking he's dead. And then he stands back up, nothing, no scratches, nothing at all. And his shirt's ripped open. He's all like, okay. And his eyes start to glow and he starts to fucking hover. And it looks great. The hovering, like flying looks fucking awesome. And
then he shoots up into the sky.
Shoots up, but he's like wailing, like he doesn't really know how to fly, so he's shooting straight up into the sky.
Yeah.
And really dope scene. That looked great. All of the CGI in this looked fucking awesome. They capture him, they take him back to New York, and they're like, oh, we're gonna take it to the old tower. They're like, the old tower? And it's the fucking Avengers Tower, which is fucking dope. And so
they bust through. They're like, he's like, we got a plan, and Bucky's like, a plan? He fucking rams that car right through the fucking lobby.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo,
drywall.
drywall. I just redid this drywall. I left that bitch unlocked for you. She's like, come up here.
I wanted to talk to y'all.
So they're like, oh, bet. So they take the elevator. They're like, yo, you're coming with us. She called John a junior varsity Captain America. That nigga got the gun out quick.
Yeah, he was just like, I love how everyone's just straight to kill somebody in this.
Yeah.
And Bucky's like,
yo, she said chill.
John, and he's just like,
fuck, we skipped the good part. Yelena's dad showed up.
Oh, yeah. So before they get there, they're walking through, not really the desert, but just this, like, mountainous area. And then they see something, they get down, and Elena's like, that's somebody. And then they see this limo driving up.
Whenever you call, baby, I'll roll up.
And they're like, she goes, oh no, it's my dad, It's
Papa!
And he comes out, and he's screaming, Yelena! Valentina's going to kill you! Don't go in there! And it's so fun. Like, Red Guardian, David Harbour plays such a great fucking character. Yeah,
so then they take a ride with Red Guardian, and then Bucky pulls up.
Yeah.
Takes care of shit.
Yeah.
Fucking, what we saw in the trailer is what he does.
Yeah, so basically Bucky takes care of shit. He does the fucking arm thing, he slams it in, flips the truck. So dope, and they're all like, yeah, Bucky! And he shoots the limo, and then John's like, oh shit. And then it explodes. And you know what's funny? I don't think I've seen a limo get flipped in a movie before.
Yeah.
Like, it was super long up, and then it drops down. And it's like super slow-mo. It's fucking dope.
And then he fucking captures them, ties them up.
He's
and
like,
then
you're gonna work for me, you're gonna help me out. Because he wants to use them to get Valentina in prison.
First, he's turning them in, and he wants them to testify.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to explain to him about Bob, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Bob, sure.
Bob,
and then he gets a
Sentry.
phone call from his contact.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, it's just basically retelling the story they told him. He's like, Bob? And they're all like, Bob, nigga!
Yeah, Bob, bro! Valentina manipulates Bob into believing he's a god, into believing he's this ultimate being and that he should work for her to do good. And they start training him, and then they get up there and they're like, Valentina, it's over, we're here to rescue Bob. And they're like, oh, Bob. And he comes down, the suit, 10 out of 10, dude. The suit was awesome. They had this joke with his hair. The hair is, because he has dark black hair, and then they dye it blonde, but it's like a rushed blonde, and it looks shitty, but I like how they pointed that out because the costume's on point, but the hair is like, I don't like the blonde hair. I'm like, the hair is weird. But we then get this fucking awesome moment of them all fighting Sentry, and I'm telling you, I don't even think they did this really with Thanos. For once, we see an all-powerful just being whoop ass. No one lands a single fucking
Well, they land punch,
no,
but they're not doing anything.
No, it's nothing. It's like, you know in anime where they do the, like that, or they do the thing, and it like breaks their hand, and he's like, mirror. Like, but it's a good showcase of all of his powers. Yeah. He literally can do anything.
And then he turned John's shield into a taco.
Yeah, that was a good fucking joke. But like, so it was I want to talk about the showcase of power. So he obviously can fly, but he has super strength. But
telekinesis.
He can manipulate anything at will. He can just like move things whenever. Move people, move things. He can create things. He can literally...
He can heat things up.
Yeah. It's like, it's not really a heat vision. It is, but it's not like lasers. It's more of like him heating it up in your hand. So he heats up a gun and he drops it out of his hand. He's fast as shit. Like Omni-Man fast. Yep. He is like, he outspeeds Ghost.
Yeah.
He like, oh man.
And to kind of show you how hot his shit gets, he heated up Bucky's arm, which is now made of vibranium.
Bro. Do you know how hard it is to... Oh my god. And he rips that shit out of the socket and just tosses it. Like it's fucking nothing. And so the whole team is like, okay, we're completely fucked. So they start to gather, like, we gotta leave. And Valentina's over here like, run and hide.
Press
is
like, on the way.
Yeah. And then she goes, all right, now Sentry, finish him. And this is actually a nice moment because Bob is like, why? Yeah. And then she's like, because they're threats. And he's like, they're not a threat to me. Yeah. There's no reason to kill them. And she goes, no, you're supposed to do what I say. And then he has this moment. It's literally a Homelander moment where he goes,
I think you should jump, Val.
Yeah, he goes, Sentry then goes, he says, well, I'm God. And she goes, well, I think you're using the term God badly.
But you said I was better than everyone.
No, but
even the Avengers, and they have a God on their team.
So... I mean, he's right.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, but he's like, I can do anything at all, like whenever I want. I'm unlimited power, and I'm basically the Avengers wrapped up in one, and they have a god, which Thor. Now, technically, Thor's not a god. He's
he's a god.
He's an Asgardian, but if we're talking like actual lore, he's a demigod. But but Sentry is ain't no one taking him. Like they really show.
I'm taking him.
You're not taking him.
Shut
your bitch ass.
One-on-one?
Fuck no.
Yes, bro. No. I'll run the ones with that nigga, bro.
So he basically tells Valentine, he's like, I'm not gonna do Valentina. Fuck.
Valentina.
He's telling Valentina that I'm not gonna follow anything you say. Why should gods? Basically, who says that? Fucking Green Goblin. Gods don't have to choose. He basically did that. And he's like, I don't have to do anything, I'm a god. And he like goes to like choke her, and then
they have a kill switch in him.
Yeah, they have a kill switch. What's her name? Mel?
Mel.
Yeah. So Mel hits it, and he fucking dies. And then Valentina goes right back to... Dude, I wanted to smack that bitch so bad. She goes right back to, okay, good, now pick me up, grab this body. Oh my god, the actress plays it so well. She's such a cunt. But then, I don't know if that's what automatically switches it, or his darkness takes over after he dies. But... then you see the camera zooms in and his body goes from this golden Sentry, which looks amazing, to this pitch black. Like, I love how they did it. Pitch black.
So when they first did it, I was thinking to myself, is it just like the shadow? Or I was like, because they did it while he was in the sky. Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, the frame of it is just dark. Like they're doing something.
No, but like he's
actually fucking black.
Yeah. And they do this really scary thing where, you know, when like... it's not the pupils. It's when a light. So like if you could see in this, and when the light hits our eyes, it's shining back.
Think of it like the Flash at nighttime, like on a like a
Yeah, yeah,
camera,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
kind of like reddish.
But instead of red, it's just white.
Yeah.
And it looks so scary. That's what I'm saying. It's been a long time. This is a scary fucking villain.
Yeah.
You get this father-daughter moment between Yelena and Red Guardian, and it's so...
She actually
like,
ends up starting.
it made me tear up a little bit.
Yeah.
And she goes, Daddy, you weren't there. And I was like, fuck, bro. I was like, they're pulling on the heartstrings. And they have a beautiful moment. And this whole thing is about being alone, mental health, and just dealing with losing people. And so they get to this moment where everyone's kind of looking up. And they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So then they look up, and everyone looks up. And it's this really cool moment of like literally just pitch black thing in the sky. And it's really dope because they zoom in on it, and you can't really see his eyes. I hate you so much.
I didn't do anything, Kane. I'm listening.
It's your
Keep
fucking
going.
face! You know what you're doing! You're doing the... Fuck you!
I'm just
Fuck
listening.
you! Fuck you! So we get to this moment where they've now realized that he's no longer Sentry, he's Void.
Yeah.
Which they did a great parallel of this really well.
Yeah.
The actor killed it with the voiceover. And I like when the voice like takes over the world, like you can hear, like an omnipotent.
And then motherfuckers start turning into fucking voids, little shadows, like getting disintegrated type shit.
Well, we'll get to that because he basically, like, it's a moment where they're like, I don't know what I'm looking at. They shoot. It's so slow. They do it so well. It's literally like this. He goes, aren't you tired of fighting? And then just that. It's like just that. And it's literally, it's kind of like a pushback, like a wave.
Yeah.
But they go, it's like that. And it's so sudden. It's like the trailer. I remember when we watched the trailer for it, we were like, whoa, what the fuck? But in the movie, it hits. You're like, holy fuck, they're dead. Which they're not really dead, but we'll get to that. But it fucking is like, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, you're fucking gone. And then he does that same with a pilot of a helicopter, and that crashes into the building, and then debris starts falling. So then the Thunderbolts, Red Guardian, starts to protect people, and they all start to protect people, and they do that cool thing that Cap did. Fucking Red Guardian shoots Elena up to go get a woman with her baby.
It was the thing from Avengers 1 where she's a Black Widow jumps on his shield to get on a Chitauri.
Yeah. It was really good. Actually, there was a lot of callbacks.
They did another. John did a callback. He was gonna kill the power source that was like gonna.
Oh, and he
burn them.
said,
He said on your left.
He said on your left.
And then
we're
he-
like, yeah.
Like, all right, buddy.
Just how
Sure.
literally leaned over and went like that. He was like,
You think
okay.
you think you're him,
He
bro?
really thinks he's Cap. He's obsessed with it. But we then get this moment where, and there's moments. I want to say this. There's moments within this movie where someone touches Bob and they enter God Jashawn.
Dude, I'm just listening.
Please, someone touches Void, and they enter his world. And I hate you so much. They enter his fucking world into the void, and they see basically a moment where they hate themselves. Like, it's a moment where, so like for John, we saw where he's just on his phone. He's so obsessed with articles of himself, and he's letting his child just sit there.
And cry.
I mean, now the child was perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's in the crib, but he's
Yeah.
just whiny because he wants like attention or
Yeah,
to
yeah,
play
yeah.
with.
He's not
so-
giving his son attention. And then the wife's like, John, give your kid attention. What the fuck you're doing? And
Well, she's like, you're supposed to be watching him. He's like, I am watching him. He's
Yeah.
like, just because I don't watch him the way you watch him doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm not watching
so
him. And
do
he
it
walks
yourself.
off.
Yeah, do it yourself. He's an asshole. And there's also a really funny joke I want to say. Like, Bob goes, he's like, what's so funny? And he goes, well, you said you're Captain America, but you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And it made the whole theater laugh. That was hilarious.
And then he tried to run the ones with Sentry. 'cause he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
that.
And fucking, oh yeah, and Elena's like, put their tiny dicks away. And it's like, wow, okay.
Wow.
And so we get to this moment where they save a bunch of people, and then they're all clapping, and they're like, "Hey, the Thunderbolts, yay!" And then we get this moment where you thought Red Guardian was gonna die,
Yeah,
but we
dude.
get this moment to where a little girl goes, "Mommy," and then we see this fucking giant, like, big.
Oh, I thought he died.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that shit came
Yeah.
far. You know, the higher something is, so
Yeah.
the weight.
The
I,
big thing. So Red Guardian goes, no, and he does the
Yeah.
thing, and he covers it, and then it cracks above his back.
I thought he was
And,
dead.
Yeah, we thought he was gonna die, but he didn't. He just goes, are you okay? Which sets up a great fucking scene. This is crazy. We're all like, yes, he's fucking fine. He's like, are you okay? And she goes, thank you, mister. And he's like looking at her, smiling, and then she just blips. Like a little 9-year-old
Yeah.
just fucking goes, thanks, boof, and just blips into the ground as a shadow. And fucking, we're all like, and fucking our buddy Wyatt was next to us. He went, oh, like he went, oh god. And then I was like, oh shit. I said it loud as fuck in the theater. I went, oh shit. And then they all look up and Sentry's like, y'all are fucking nothing. And then he just starts blipping people. It's such a good power set.
So
It is-
anyways, I started blasting.
but it's so fucking good because it's scary.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary. It's a villain. I'm tired of the villains being just beaten up.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking, like, you can't beat this guy.
So then Yelena goes into the Void World.
Yeah, she's
willingly.
like, so, and, which Red Guardian, I mean, David Harbour's fucking great. He's fucking straight. He thinks his daughter just died.
Yeah.
And so she goes into this world, but then it pulls out and we see the entire New York is being, like, sucked into this void.
Yeah.
And so they're, like, hiding, so it doesn't really get everybody, which is kind of weird how they did it. It, like, if you're inside, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's like everything
It's
around
like if the shadow
outside.
touches you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
But-
you're using like objects to protect you from the
Yeah.
shadow.
But Yelena,
We see a bit of her childhood and her void, her personal
Yeah.
issues.
with the Red Room.
Yes.
There was actually a really fucked up where like they all have to put a gun together really quick.
Yeah.
She's the best out of all of them,
So
and
she
then she gets a
doesn't-
whip and like I guess whips their hands or something, but she whips each of the kids' hands. It's
that
fucking,
didn't win.
That didn't win. Yeah,
Yelena got.
and
She's
she
like,
has to
Yelena-
watch.
Yeah.
It's fucking. They do the Red Room shit very well. It's very harsh. But then we get to this moment where she battles like her alcoholism, and really, really awesome scenes, honestly. And then we get to this point where we see Bob,
Yep.
where he's like in a room where he's like, "This is the nicest room. Everything else is terrifying," and they basically have this moment talking. And I like how she's kind of like very direct with him. She's like, "You're gonna just sit here
Yep.
and just let this take over," and he's like, "What's the use?" And she's like, "There's tons of use. Like, get the fuck up. Like, I'm here with you." And so all of the other members jump in. They jump in to save Yelena, and then they all get there. And I thought, like you said, I thought we were gonna see everyone's rooms. That would have been nice to see.
Very nice.
But we do get a big montage of rooms of Bob's memories.
Yeah.
And there's this joke. I didn't think that they would commit to it, but there's this joke where they're like, "Oh, what'd you do in the past?" And he says, I was a methed out sign twirling chicken."
Yeah.
And we were all like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's just a weird thing. And we're like, "Okay, cool, funny, weird joke." But like, we get to this moment where they get in there and we see this chicken dude.
Yeah. And he fucking has the sign of like an arrow, and he's
Yeah.
coming at them,
Yeah.
and then Bucky fucking pops him in the mouth,
Yeah.
and he knocked the fuck out, and then they did.
They go to another fucking one. They show that Bob's parents were abusive as
Yeah.
fuck. They were just beating the shit out of each other.
Well, it was
and beating
mainly his
him.
father, but then
Yeah,
the
his
mother
father.
was a victim, like mentally, so she shifted her anger and all that
Right.
bullshit onto Bob.
Yeah,
So-
it was just a terrible upbringing, you know, classic terrible upbringing. Basically, they get through this moment where the Void is sitting in this room, and he's like, "Oh, this is the first moment where I used my Void powers, where I killed some people." And basically, the Void's like, "Yeah, and you'll always be here."
Yeah.
And so we have to have this battle, but Void's super fucking powerful.
Yeah.
So he puts everyone up against a wall, is in a fight with himself, which I love this. This is such a great mental health. Like, it's a fight with your dark side, your bad thoughts, your suicidal thoughts, your depression, your you know, stuff like that. And he's
Usually, you
fighting
gotta let
Void.
those things win. Those thoughts.
Dude! He's basically fighting and beating the shit out of Void, like, but as he's doing that, he's turning into Void himself, and he's being succumbed to the fucking darkness that is, you know, himself. And so Yelena's able to break free because Red Guardian pushes out the thing that's holding him. So she's able to break free, and they realize, he's like, Bucky's like, "This isn't right. This isn't what he wants." And so she's like, stop it. So they do a lot of cool stuff, like things coming at her, and she's fucking flipping and doing really cool acrobatic stuff. And then she holds him and she goes, "I'm here." Like, she's not stopping him, but she's like, "I'm here." And then everyone breaks away to hold him like a family. I fucking love that. It was a great showing. And then he kind of like stops and he goes, "You know what? I don't need you." And then they pull back out, and they're just fuck you. Fuck you.
I didn't do anything.
Fuck you. It's your face. Fuck you. They end up back in New York, out of the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
And they basically are like, they pull Bob out. And so Void goes back into him. And they basically, all of New York goes back to normal. And everyone comes back alive, so they weren't dead. So the little girl's back. Like, everyone's back, which was dope. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Except if you died from debris, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, there was a lot of moments where we thought certain people were gonna die. We thought Yelena's gonna die. We thought Red Guardian's gonna die. Like, there was
Because shit was
moments where,
falling out of the sky. So something fell on you, and you're probably fucking dead.
Yeah. But
So he needs to go to
So-
jail for that.
we're now like closing in at the end of the movie, and we get to the point where basically, like, Valentina's just bitching about something. I need a fucking escort team. I need this. And Red Guardian's like, I'm going to kill that woman now. Like, and I'm like, please. Like,
but it was all set up. She just
it was
more
another fucking setup.
Because she had press behind the other side. She was like,
give me a minute.
So...
Give me a minute. It was another fucking setup. She's so good at that.
Yeah.
But then when we get there, she's like, you're new Avengers. So now.
And she took the credit for them.
Yeah.
She said, I trained these people to be the new Avengers.
Fuck you. So then she's like, these are my new Avengers.
And then they're like, okay, we'll take it. And then Yelena goes, now we own you.
Yeah, whispers, now we own you. And she's like, yeah. Which is so good. And Bob, he loses his memory again. So he's like, congrats, guys. He doesn't even know he's part of the team. And so they're all like, okay, I guess we're the new Avengers. And that's where the movie ends. Yeah. So the movie ends there. Solid ending. Everything was fucking great. So then we stay for the credits, right? And then the first end credit scene was something, it was a funny joke. And it's Red Guardian. And he's in the fucking... Because there's a joke that was in the trailer, but he was like, oh, we're going to be the heroes on the Wheaties box with the kitty toy. And so he's in a grocery store with this woman just buying shit for her kids, her baby. And fucking Red Guardian has glasses on. He goes, do you know that the Wheaties box? And he pulls it out. And he just slowly puts it to his head. And
he's in full costume on the
box. Yeah, and he's regular clothes. And, and she's like... Okay.
Like a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
She takes the box like she's gonna actually put it in her cart.
Yeah.
And when she hits the corner, she sets it down.
Yeah, she set in front of him. She sets in front of him. He's like, that was me on the box. And then it goes to black. And then we get the actual credits. Fucking Deshaun. We get the credits. And so we wait to the end. Again, we're in 2025. It's been literally almost 30 years of Marvel movies, of end credit scenes. People are still leaving. People got up and left. I'm like, you guys are fucking posers. But, so, then we get to the actual end credit scene, and my god, like, well, I want to say before we get there, at the very end where they do, like, you know, the credits where they show everyone the pictures, they start showing a lot of memorabilia, like, you can do it with them, and, like, a bunch of cool shit. And then at the end, they say the Thunderbolts asterisk turns in to the new Avengers. That's why the asterisk was there.
Yep.
Because the asterisk, if you didn't know, when asterisks are at names, it means it's subject to change. Mm-hmm. That's what it means. That means this is a header that is subject to change. That's what an asterisk does. So we were all wondering, what the fuck does it mean? Yeah. So it goes, the Thunderbolts, the asterisk, you hear a ding, and then it goes, the new Avengers. And we're like, oh, shit. So they are going into the new Avengers. We're going into the new Avengers line. So then... we then get the end credit scene, which was, I will say an awesome end credit scene. It was fucking dope. But it's basically them in Avengers Tower, and that's now built for them. They all have new logos, new Avengers logos, and it's the Thunderbolts. They're all just sitting, chilling around, but they're all making jokes. They're like, the internet hates us. They don't think we're the Avengers.
I have one problem with that end credit scene. They said that, well, you were getting to that. The internet hates them, blah, blah, blah. They're not the real Avengers, and it's mainly because Sam is... the Captain
Sam's
America.
Copyrighted Avengers.
So he's saying you guys aren't the Avengers. He doesn't want them to be the Avengers.
Yeah.
Which I have a problem with only because he's saying that to Bucky. Bucky, he should be like, I don't give a fuck if you're an Avenger. I don't want the rest of them Avengers.
Yeah.
Because Bucky is, in my opinion...
I feel like it was kind of implied. I feel like it was just like, it was not said, but it was kind of like, I feel like he would want Bucky to be an Avenger, obviously.
Yeah, but the way they said it was, he was like, I thought you were going to have a talk with him. He's like, I did. It didn't go well. Like, he doesn't want us Avengers. Like, that's the way they said it.
So, like, the way that they say it is that Sam... so this is directly after Ross turned into Red Hulk, like all this stuff. So Sam is starting the new Avengers, but the Thunderbolts are now taking this because Valentina has made it the
government made them
the government the new Avengers.
Yeah.
So now fucking Sam he copyrighted Avengers, the Avengers. So Red Guardian comes in this weird tracksuit looking, I don't know what the fuck it is, but he's just like, see, I got the copyright Avengers with a Z.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, no, take that shit off, cool. And so we then get the building, then says, what is it? Yelena asks the building, hey, pose any threats, because there's a war in outer space, which apparently, do you know what that's about?
No.
Is it like Guardians? Or maybe something with Captain Marvel or something, or... I don't know, but they said that there's a war in space right now.
It's nothing we've seen.
Okay, but they say there's a war in space, and then there's a funny joke where John's like, there's enough space in this place, and they're like, outer space, idiot, and he's like, oh, outer space. But then she's like, okay, make sure there's no threats around Earth. So they do a scan, the satellite scan, and...
because something's coming.
They said, unidentified aircraft entering Earth's atmosphere. And so we're all like, and now
But they said,
I kind of
they
knew
said interdimensional, and as soon as they said that, I
interdimensional
said
portal.
yeah,
And in my
Fantastic Four.
brain, me and him, because we've seen the trailers, we already knew, but we already knew who it was, but we waited. And so they then take a picture, they're like, oh, let's see a scan of it. So then they put it on the big screen, and we see a ship that looks very similar to what we've seen before. And then we're like, wait, what is that? Which we know what it was. But then the ship turns, and we see the Fantastic Four symbol on the ship.
And I couldn't give any less of a fuck.
Fuck you. Shut up. Shut up. He is ready, just like I am. I was like, yes. And people clapped. Actually, I'm glad people clapped. So people were clapping because we get to see the Fantastic Four. So I'm guessing Fantastic Four happens before the Thunderbolts. So and when they enter, so I'm guessing they're gonna lose to Galactus. If I had to guess the story, I'm guessing Silver Surfer's gonna sacrifice herself, something of the order, and they're gonna have to leave the planet and leave the dimension. So they leave the dimension, and that's when they enter the MCU. You're fucking weird. Stop it. Something I also like is that they made this joke at the end of the movie where they're like, oh, like, none of us can fly. We could just, if we just have Sentry, we all just ride Sentry up. And Sentry is like, oh, guys, I'm sorry, I can't be Sentry because the other guy will come out, which I really like. I like how he can't be the all-powerful god like Sentry without dealing with Void. Yeah. So he's like, I don't want to deal with Void, so I don't want to be Sentry. Yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be moments in where he's going to have to be Sentry.
Or they could just use him as a human shield.
Right, basically. Yeah. Because he can't fucking die.
Yeah.
So, but then that's the final credits. That's where it finally fucking ends. So, overall, I loved it. I thought it was fucking great. Yeah, I give it a 9.5. I loved it so much. I love the team. I love the cast. I love the story. I actually loved that it was a scary fucking villain. It was an actual scary villain. Void was awesome. Sentry is awesome. Everyone's casting was awesome, and acting was out the ass. Bucky was really cool. He wasn't in it a lot. He was very, like, side story type. He was in it for the tail end, but it was very... They didn't really do Bucky a lot, but he's gotten his shine. He's got Civil War, he's got Winter Soldier. We've seen a lot of Bucky. So, it was cool to show everybody. And I feel like a lot of people got their screen time.
I want to say real quick, there was a scene where they were fighting Sentry when they first pulled up to Avengers Tower. They do, like, a one-on-one with Bucky. He fucking takes his, like, shirt off. Like,
like he usually does, where he's like, I'm about to fuck
you up.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I'm like, dude, nothing's gonna happen. It was fucking nothing. Yeah. It was funny.
And then he just holds it, and he's like, yeah, get out of here, and just rips his arm off. And,
yeah, we were closing it out.
Yeah, I honestly love it. Marvel's in the right fucking direction, and I'm telling you right now, and I'll even say this, Captain America Brave New World, I gave it an 8. I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid movie. It wasn't as good as Thunderbolts. No, we were definitely right. Thunderbolts was way better. Yeah. But Captain America Brave New World, good first step. Fucking Thunderbolts, awesome. I will say Marvel's back. After Daredevil Born Again, I mean, Marvel is fucking back. We're back in it. And what is it, Phase 6 or Phase 5? We're in whatever fucking phase. I think it's Phase 6 or Phase... No, yeah, Phase 5 I think it was Endgame, right? Or whatever. But we're in whatever phase. But... And then I have no doubt that Fantastic Four will be fucking amazing. So... After Fantastic Four comes out in 2 fucking months. And, dude, it looks fucking great. So, dude, Marvel's fucking back. And I'm fucking ready.
I'm ready for DC.
I am ready for DC. Superman also comes out right after Fantastic Four.
I'm ready for all of it.
So, yeah, it's going to be fucking dope. We're going to have a great fucking summer. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. But if you guys watch all the way to the end, if you liked our fucking, our review of it, if you didn't like Thunderbolts, let us know why. I mean, let us know if it wasn't your cup of tea, if it wasn't really hitting for you. We loved it. We thought it was great. We can't wait for Fantastic Four. The end credit scene sets it up perfectly. Yep. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe, like, and down below. And go see fucking Thunderbolts. Go actually see it. Even if you've seen it already, go see it again. Deshaun was even saying he might go watch it again because of how fucking good it was. And I'll probably go see it again too. Maybe take my mom or someone. It would be fucking sick. But other than that, we thank you for being one of the inmates here at the Asylum. Peace.